Happy New Year from the Flex On Podcast. Only place giving you this book how you want to get it. Episode 374. And in 2023, giving you more and more. Only place giving you this how you want to get it. Start with a somber situation in the NFL. Then we got to recap the Ravens Steelers. Talk about those Commanders and their slim playoff hopes as well. Also, we recap the weekend that was in college football and look forward to the national championship game as well next week. Of course, Cravante hands out his first Goofy of 2023. We'll see who made the honorable, or as we call Goofy list here on the Flex On Podcast. Go ahead and subscribe if you're new, hit that like button, hit that bell. Flex On, episode 374 coming to you live.
You're on me,
Byron. You're muted, good brother.
StreamYard doesn't like me today, but 2023, much like the ending of the Ohio State-Georgia game, we're going down to the wire. Back again, 2023, the hottest sports podcast in all the universe, the Flex On Podcast. Only place fellas giving you sports how you want it.
When you need it.
When you need it.
Back again for another year of amazing content yet again. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell. We'll tell you more about that throughout the show. And, of course, vote on the poll we got up as well. Episode 374, we're talking Ravens, Commanders, college football. Of course, Cravante's handing out that Goofy of the week. And, of course, we got to hand out those game ball, not so game balls. Comment. Let us know also. We want to know what you want to see in 2023 from the Flex Zone. We want to continue to grow. We want to continue to be the best place you come to for all your sports needs. We're self-made. We're trying to keep growing. Let us know what you want to see more of, more live streams, more content. Let us know in the comments. Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you. Sabu86, appreciate it. Big Oos, I see you in here. God's favorite, also the Moist, the Flex Zone 1 on Twitter, Instagram, and the Flex Zone Podcast on TikTok. Cash App the Flex Zone 1, flexzone1@gmail.com. Guest ideas want to be part of the show. Let's get to it. Throw your ones up, acknowledge us as we are number one, heading into another new year. Our social media producer, he's kicking things off with us. Friendly neighborhood Raj. What's going on, brother? Happy New Year. How you feeling?
Happy New Year, everybody. I'm not sure how to really feel, man. It's been rough, man. We'll get into it, but we saw something that was that we don't know what's going to happen, or I really don't. We'll talk about it. But yeah, it's just been rough. I'll just say that.
Big shout out to Lamar on the TikTok for the Flex Zone. Looking to have a big year on TikTok. Continue the social media presence. This next man, he's hilariously calling out the goofiness. He'll continue to do it in 2023, and he's got one already that was just laid up to him right before the show, I see. And the tweet probably is still up, I think they were saying. So it's getting even more goofier by the minute. He is the voice of reason. He is the captain of the goofy ship. He is the Commandalorian. We salute him. 24/7, 365. And he still has a little bitty, itty-bitty heartbeat, possibly for the playoffs. I think if his coach doesn't make him goofy. Mm-hmm. No. Okay.
No,
it's over.
Okay. All right. It's done. I was trying
to... Thanks, Byron. But no.
It's over.
Thanks, but no. Hey, man, good brothers. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, from the Flex Zone to our good people that watch and listen to our show. And Happy New Year to my brothers. Dre, you know, we was already out. Engravings, I didn't think it was that funny, but yeah, yo, what's up, Engravings? Happy New Year.
My man Engraven, what's going on, man?
Going on, Engraven.
Happy New Year.
Appreciate you as always, brother.
Always. But yeah, like Rod said, yeah, we just got hit with some craziness right now. And it seems to be a bug or whatever going around. So I wish him good well wishes and good health for everybody. 2023 is coming in with a bang, and we're gonna take it in stride.
Getting 58, 60 degrees in the middle of January is not helping either. But this
Nope.
next man, you wait for the ball to drop. And the first person you check on is Drizzy Dre, the super producer himself, the pride of the East Side, savior and misbehavior, the A-lister, the man more phenomenal than AJ Styles, the man with more title reigns than Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair combined. The straw that stirs the drink, the one who tells them when to go, Mr. 25-8, more mean than the vaccine. And in 2023, you can always start your day with a cup of Dre, the undisputed head of the table, the tribal chief, the man whose title reign never ends. You know, I had to do it big for my brother, Drizzy Dre.
Appreciate you as always, good brother. Man, I mean, happy to see another year. Me and my brother, we bring in the new year and had a goofy moment together. Some stuff you just can't make up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll tell y'all about it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
Shout out to my sister, Miss Queen. Happy New Year. And
yes,
hey, man, you're the straw that stirs the drink, and Graven, especially when it comes to this Ravens content. I know you got a lot to say on your channel. We've been watching the videos. So
ooh, yes.
keep it
Hey,
coming.
man, hey.
I can't wait till he comes back. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't going to be nasty.
Hey, man, you should have heard him on 105.7 The Fan, man. He was.
Yeah,
he called in. He called in on Rita and Greg's show.
Nice.
He had a nice conversation. Nice conversation.
Check that out. The Odyssey is a beautiful app. You can watch and listen to all the old stuff. So I'll check that out. And Graven, we love to hear you. We love 105.7 The Fan. So Cordell, shout out to him. Shout out to you and
yes,
all the good folks over there. Definitely love to hear that. But let's get into it. Unfortunately, we're starting with sad news today. I know even people who aren't into football or sports like that are texting and posting all on social media and throughout the social media avenues. Unfortunately, only 2 days into 2023, and we're already starting off with sad news as we had one of the most anticipated Monday Night Football games of the year. Bills, Bengals, playoff implications, home field advantage, even affected possibly the Ravens to a trickle-down point as well heading into Week 18. But safety Damar Hamlin, tackled T. Higgins, I believe, got up, and then from what I've seen, he collapsed immediately, was given CPR for over 5 minutes, then rushed to a nearby medical facility, and the game has been postponed for the Bills at Bengals, and it will not be played tonight. Raj, I know you were, like most of us, had a somber tone with this, and what are your thoughts? And in the comments, let us know as well. But just a terrible way to start 2023 in the NFL, where they were trying to be more safer and doing more things with concussion protocols. We've seen what's happened with Tua and other players. This is not a good look, and hopefully, things get positive quickly.
I have never seen nothing like this before in my life. I'm so glad I didn't actually see the hit or, what happened. I turned away from the channel, and then I turned back, and then I saw the ambulance on the field. I'm like, what's going on? So, I go to Facebook, I go to Twitter. They talking about Damar Hamlin is the person that's down. But yeah, it's just really, really sad, man. Our prayers to the brother. I hope he's going to make it. I hope he's going to be okay. I've never heard in my entire life somebody being, having to get CPR on the football field. I know we joke about, players, laying the smack down on, jacked up, from back in the day, and all these, the big NFL hits and type of stuff like that, where Ray Lewis used to knock people out. But I never thought this would come to a day where you actually, see something like this on the field. It was all fun and games until something actually happens like that. And it's just devastating to see, for real. And the players, the Bills players, I've seen a lot of them crying. I've seen Stephon Diggs had a lot of tears in his eyes, and Josh Allen was holding his teammates up, and even the Bengals players were in tears as well. It's just very, very heartbreaking, honestly, man. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't care about this game. I just care about if my teammate or my NFL brother is going to be okay. I put that on Facebook. You just don't want to see nothing like that. You really don't. You don't want to see anything like that. And I just pray that the brother is okay. We can figure out all this other type of stuff later, with the game and postponement and next week's games or whatever. You know, they can always delay the playoffs another 2-3 weeks. It doesn't matter. When it comes to somebody's life, it's just a game. It's just a game. So you can always figure out the type of stuff later. The only thing that matters is if that brother is all right, and if anybody else needs, to talk about it, or consult their family members or whatever, because I mean, we I hate to go back to this, but I seen this type of similar situation at a WWE event back in the late '90s when Owen Hart passed away. Literally fell from the sky, and the show went on. The show continued that night, and I could not believe it. I couldn't believe that they actually continued the show after you seen the man literally fall from from the sky, and they like it was nothing. Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna continue to keep wrestling. Like, so I'm glad the NFL made the correct decision here. I'm glad they suspended the game. They're gonna, hopefully the brother is all right, like I said before. But it's just a lot. It's just nothing you really can say, man. Life, like Justin said, life is bigger than football. Life is definitely bigger than football. So prayers to his family, prayers to the Bills and Bengals players who saw that, and prayers to everybody that was in the stands that saw that as well, because that is tough, man. That's definitely tough to see.
Cravante, I want to get your thoughts on this somber situation.
So I just got an update from, I believe this is Damar's agent, and he says his vitals are back to normal, and they have put him to sleep to put a breathing tube down his throat. Yeah. They are currently running tests, and we will provide updates as we have them. So sounds like things are going in a positive direction. So there's that. But it's crazy. Really, really, really crazy. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but even in the entertainment world, we have a lot of young folks, basically perishing and passing away, and wildness is going on. Like, the brother's 24. Like, I feel like all the things that's going on don't have like an age, thing associated with it, because he's 24. He could laugh like, what is really going on? And hopefully maybe other things will come out. Maybe he has some other condition, or we'll get a full report of what happened. But this is very, very, very sad. I'm gonna do a special shout out to the Bengals and the Bills for sending their players to the locker room. Like, this is absolutely too much right now. Everybody's traumatized. We saw a lot, and I don't know. Raj was talking about some previous incidences, but I don't recall anything like this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure with these times, things are very, very, very tight and very, very sensitive. And for them to, consult one another and send players to the locker room, and then, they say we're not about to play this game. Like, this is too much more. Life is always bigger than football. You only playing football for a short amount of time in your life, and then you have the rest of your life. That's it. We only have a short amount of time to be a child, and a short amount of time to play football or work or whatever, compared to the rest of life. You know what I'm saying? And there should be nothing in our childhood or our work that messes up the rest of our lives. You know what I'm saying? So prayers up to Mr. Hamlin, his family, and the Bills and the Bengals organization. And finally, even though the NFL I think they was forced to do this, but I guess they kind of did something. They did something right this time.
I'll say this real quick, Dre, before you go. We have Cravante seen something like this in the NFL. Ryan Shazier just came to my memory. This was in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah.
This was in Cincinnati. Think Steelers, Bengals. It was like a Monday night. I think it was a Monday night. Somebody can fact check me. He was paralyzed from basically the neck down, waist down. They carried him out on a stretcher. And basically, I think he delivered the hit, I believe, and then a great middle linebacker for the Steelers. And then he
for sure. Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Gotcha.
Just
But they
recently,
but they didn't suspend the game. But
right,
the players were distraught that game.
right, and
Yeah.
that was a crazy situation. So you may not have seen Owen Hart, but look up Ryan Shazier in
Yeah,
that situation.
Yes.
That,
Yep. You're right. I definitely
and that was
definitely
probably
remember that.
5 or 6 years ago. So go ahead, Dre.
um, I mean we've seen players paralyzed on the field before. We've seen devastating injuries like this, but we've never seen anything to this magnitude. I think the shock for everybody was that when players have been hurt, they've been carried off the field, but never an ambulance, taking them off the field to this degree. And also when um, just seeing this player collapse like that. I mean, it looked like a normal hit, and then he gets up and then he just collapsed. So that just put everybody in a total shock. I think Raj, I think the tweet that you had got. I mean, we're going to wait for the full actual report, but there's so many reports out there saying different things. So we just want to wait for an official update about what's going on. Prayers up to um, Damar Hamlin and his family, and hopefully he pulls through. Um, I do remember the Owen Hart situation. That's honestly the only closest thing that I could think of, but the difference is I think it was a difference in time, Roger, too. And you can chime in too with this conversation because we're old enough to remember that it was the I know it was in 1999. Only thing I remember from that pay per view was the Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the main event. But I don't remember the name of the actual pay per view.
I'll find that out,
But
Dre.
but
I'll,
the thank you, Byron. But to inform the audience out there what Roger is talking about, it was also in May. But I just don't like I said, I just don't remember the actual pay per view. But what happened was Owen Hart. They used to have the wrestlers come from the ceiling. So it started with with Sting coming from the ceiling, and he would drop down into the ring.
Right.
And they wanted Owen Hart to do this, and it took days to convince Owen Hart to do this, and he did not feel comfortable whatsoever because he had a fear of heights. They finally convinced Owen Hart to do this, and the strap that holds him on was not tight enough. So Owen Hart actually ended up collapsing from the ceiling and hit the. He goes down and hits the turnbuckle, and his head snaps, and
over the
he
edge, over
passes
the
away.
edge in
Yeah,
'99.
over the edge. Yeah.
So Owen Hart gets rushed to a medical facility, but he ends up passing away. And at the time, the WWF did not stop the pay per view. They actually kept the pay per view going. So what Roger's saying is honestly, hats off to the NFL for suspending the game and then end up canceling the game for the night because that's the right thing to do in that situation. Um, excuse me. What happened that night was just something that everybody should take lessons from because um, Owen Hart was beloved in the WWF locker room, and to hear that he passed away, and that's where, and I'm just only going into the little bit of the details of the situation. There's many more things that happened from that situation. They, as Brian, he would definitely know and chime in there, because that situation honestly affected Sting coming into the ring that way, and so many other things projected from Owen Hart passing away that night. But I think it was a learning lesson overall for sports because there's just no way that people should be able to go on to perform after that type of incident happens, and that's why then you go into the whole Bret Hart situation and how he's connected, why Owen Hart is not in the WWF, sorry, WWE Hall of Fame right now. So, but back to Damar Hamlin though. So again, prayers up. I don't think any of us have ever seen anything like that, and like I said, we're hoping that um, he pulls through from this situation because it seems like a normal hit, but then it makes you realize how life short is, and also that we can't take advantage of the sport that we watch. Football is a very violent sport, and things do happen on the football field. Granted, we've never seen anything to this degree. We've seen like we said, we've seen hits, we've seen people. We've laughed about like back in the day, but this is no laughing matter. What happened to that man? And you never want to see somebody like that or anything happen to somebody in that magnitude. So, again, prayers up to him and his family. And right now, it's not about football, but it's about this brother pulling through, and hopefully he does. And again, our prayers, thoughts, and wishes go to him and his family right now.
Yeah, once we get more information throughout the show, as things decide to come in, I'm sure within the next hour or so, more things will come out. We'll get those to you as updates become available. So, fellas, feel free to chime in or anybody in the comments if you hear anything from reputable sources. But switch gears a little bit here. Sadly, from one somber incident to another somber incident in the Baltimore Ravens yesterday. Dre, you were at the game. Ravens
Yes.
lose 13-16. Actually don't score in the second half. I didn't even realize this when I mentioned this yesterday, Raj, during the post game. They didn't score in the second half. Only
No, they did
4
not.
first downs in the second half. And the Ravens now fall to the 6th seed. Potentially could, depending on what happens with the Bengals now, have to play them 2 weeks in a row, depending on how seeding works out. Because the Chargers, don't look now, but the Chargers are hot. Told y'all, leapfrog them and are possibly going to play the winner of the AFC South, which we'll see on Saturday. But a tweet that was dropped in one of our group chats, Dre, of Ravens' mistakes in 2022 also. Not drafting a talented receiver, week 1 with only 2 edge rushers and no backups, not firing Greg Roman, overpaying Nick Boyle and Pat Ricard, and just terrible cap management all around. Dre, you were there. What was the atmosphere like? Ravens Steelers, your thoughts? Lamar standing on the sideline with his shades on, as you see in our thumbnail. Just your thoughts, Dre. You called them front runners, and they've lost their 5 out of 6 losses have been double-digit leads.
Pay Lamar. I mean, I know it sounds so simple, but this is a drum we've been beating all year. Being at the game yesterday, there was a sense of hope that the Ravens would pull this out, and I just kept saying they need to score at least. They need to score at least one other time. That's all. I felt like the game could have been won. It was a very winnable game, but you're right, Brian. I mean, I'm seeing that Ravens shirt with playoffs, but that's all they're gonna make, brother. At this point, um, Lamar Jackson has an injury that's 4 to 6 weeks. I think it's been about 3 weeks now. Um, honestly, nobody's. It's been, you said 5 weeks. He's been out.
This is fifth. This is the 5th week coming up.
So maybe by the time the playoffs come, hopefully we'll see Lamar. But at the end of the day, I mean, that yesterday's game felt like had Lamar Jackson played, we would have won. And it shows you the importance of him on our football team because, like Engraven said weeks ago, we can cut all this. What's the backup's name? I'm so sorry. But
Huntley.
Tyler Huntley. But
You don't even know who the backup name is. That's terrible.
But I mean, it shows you that the importance of having a quarterback. We know the value of once you have a quarterback. Sorry, Cavante, but the importance of having
They have two. They have two. They don't know who to start.
The importance of
that means zero, and that means zero.
The importance of having a quarterback, and once you have your guy, hold on to him. But the Baltimore Ravens, like you said, Byron, weeks ago, they should have just been like, look, I know you're hurt. Let's get you right for the playoffs. Let's see what happens. And then whatever you're trying to get paid, let's work this out. Because this team needs Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson needs help on the offensive side. We have to get away from the days of it being defensive league. I mean, yes, you need to be able to stop teams, but at the same time, I mean, the I saw when you're looking at the time of possession with the Steelers took over with time of possession. Again, I told y'all Kenny Pickett was nice, and you seen it with the Raiders game. You seen it, and I was telling my
Another
lovely
quarterback
girlfriend
in the AFC, Dre. We saw Trevor Lawrence earlier this year. Danny Dimes
that,
even tore us up in the Johnson going to the playoffs. But
and I told my lovely girlfriend, I said this guy can come back and win this game, and sure enough, slowly but surely, the Steelers were coming back, and what I told y'all last week, if the Steelers won this game, Mike Tomlin is going to have above 500 record again, and looks like he is. And the Ravens right now, look, we fell back. We can get out of this hole, but I mean, we have to. It has to be on the shoulders, honestly, of Lamar Jackson. But I hope that this offseason, they get him the much needed help that he needs at that wide receiver position. I mean, likely, I don't know what he was doing out there. I mean, honestly, it seemed like Andrews and J.K. were doing all the heavy lifting, but it just wasn't enough. Like you said, Byron, all the scoring came in the first half. It looked like they were good, but then again, it's the same thing. Like you said, I've been saying all season that this is a front running team because they look real good in one half, and then in the second half, they just cannot get themselves together. We'll see
stay
what
tuned.
happens with the playoffs, but I just don't see this team going very far right now. So hopefully Lamar can come back real soon and give us that much needed boost that we need. But they have a lot of work to do on the offensive side this off season and have to really make that transition because the league is going to an offensive league team, not just a defensive league team, and it's unfair to one man even if we pay him the max money, to put it all on his shoulders when everybody around him in the league gets help from Josh Allen to Patrick Mahomes. And I mean, we're going to see other people get broke off real soon, like Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. So keep an eye out for those guys. But we need to value the quarterback that we have and surround him with talent. And honestly, right now, Greg Roman's job needs to be he needs to be gone, and John Harbaugh needs to be started to be put, maybe not fired, but that seat starts. It needs to start being warm because this just can't continue right now with Ravens Nation.
Um,
Uh, Queen. We'll get to the Skip Bayless as well as some other goofy tweets we see.
can we give up that first round pick for Sean Payton? I heard the Saints 101. I'll gladly give that up for Sean Payton. Also, Dre, I think not only the offense needs a revamp because there are rumors that the Ravens have taken a contract off the table, which I'm not mad at them for actually. They need to close on defense. They don't have a guy that when you need to get a stop, especially pass rush, they don't have a closer. Always a bust. I'm calling him one now. He looks terrible out there. I don't know what's going on at the job, but I don't think he's healthy fully. Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, yeah, they're good, but you got to have that guy like a Von Miller that can go get the quarterback on third down, second down. And we've seen it too many times, like Raj always says, in 2 minute situations. They are terrible defensively. Go ahead, Raj.
But before Raj chimes in, that's something we've been saying, Byron, though, about the Ravens as far as a pass rusher, and in this season, we've been really exposed as far as the secondary. We knew that they were questionable, but the secondary needs a lot of work, and we need to address that pass rush. I think the middle of the field is just fine with the acquisitions we've picked up. But honestly, like you said, I think it's that secondary help because you still got to look at Marlon Humphreys, even though we like Marlon. Our other guy who likes to take chances
Peters.
out there.
Marcus
He has to
Marcus
go.
Peters.
Marcus Peters has to go. That's he gets burned too much. And then out there, like you said, as far as the pass rush. So those are two areas defensively that they need to work on, but you can still get those through the draft and free agency. However, the alarming needs are pay your quarterback and get him at least one receiver. because you still do have Bateman out there. You still got Andrews as your tight end, but you need that. You need a go-to receiver like how Joe had with Anquan Bolden. You need somebody of that nature out there where you can just grab them, and that's going. And also, like you said, offensive. A change in offensive scheme. And like you said, Sean Payton, he said he would love to coach Lamar Jackson. So come on, Ravens.
Brian, appreciate the subs on multiple channels. Shout out to B Waters in the chat. Raj, go ahead. I know we did a post game with D last night. Epic rant by D, by the way. Hopefully we get that on the channel soon. But go ahead, Ryan. Epic rant.
Yeah, I might clip it. We shall see. But I just wanna say this, man. I'm just disappointed in this team. From organization down. I don't know what to really say, honestly. They're just very disappointing to watch. They're very disappointing in general. From the start of the season to now. Even before the season started, it's just like this team. It just does. They don't care. They don't give a. They don't care. They don't care, man. And from Steve Bisciotti to John Harbaugh to to the players at times, they just don't care. And the fact that Lamar Jackson did not get a contract, and he's led this team to about 4 playoff appearances, including this year's playoff appearance, is just like it's mind-boggling to me. And I hate it when Steve Bisciotti said he hates guaranteed contracts. I swear
gosh.
He should have never said that in the offseason. I understand he was mad with the Browns owner, but still, you do not say that because it really affected this team this season and is affecting them right now. And you put all this money on the defense, and time and time they let you down again and again and again. Now I understand the offense is terrible, and you're down to your backup quarterback yet again, and you still have the same ridiculous offensive coordinator who calls the stupidest plays at the wrong time over and over again. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. Last night was a travesty in the second half, and I'm just scratching my head a lot of the times. But this is just what this team is at this point. They're very disappointing, and then they make excuses in the media, and they expect you, the viewer, to be like, oh well, yeah, they're going to get it fixed. No, you're not going to get it fixed, John. You make these excuses every single game about oh, we should do this correctly. Oh, I don't know why Gus didn't play. Gus should have got more touches. Like, bro, you're out there. You're coaching. You can make these adjustments. You can talk to Greg on your headset. What are you doing? You make these excuses every single time. You made them a lot last year as well when we were losing a lot of the games. But it's just frustrating to watch this team almost every week, and they do the same shit. Like D said yesterday, they do the same exact shit every game, and is extremely frustrating. And I know a lot of people that was at the game. No, Dre. Now I gotta ask you a question, man, because the last game I went to was the Broncos game, and the atmosphere down that game was completely and utterly terrible. And did not feel like Ravens football. It didn't. I didn't sense anybody that was extremely excited. It almost felt like they was pumping in crowd noise at times, like at a WWE event. I got a question to ask you, my brother. How was the atmosphere down there last night?
I think the atmosphere was like we were excited. For one, it was New Year's. It's the last game. It's Sunday Night Football. You're playing the Steelers, so there was a lot of people in attendance for the game. You know how those Sunday night games are with the Bray Wyatt thing that they got going on. So I think that they were excited in that aspect. But I think overall, the just talking to different fans going in. They felt like Lamar Jackson is just the answer. I mean, I think the overall atmosphere is just can we pay Lamar Jackson and get this distraction from us? I think everybody understands. Like, yes, he got hurt, but it doesn't matter. I think right now your race, creed, religion, whatever you want to say. I think the overall feeling in the building was just that. Can we just honestly get this deal done with Lamar Jackson? Because I think everybody knows the value that he brings to Baltimore. Right now, it's not that, the days of the Tom Brady's and the Aaron Rodgers. Yes, they granted they got into the playoffs, but those days are coming to an end real soon, because I think everybody understands that right now the transition is not only is it an offensive league, but also you need a mobile quarterback. And then we understand Lamar Jackson is still electrifying, and he's one of the top quarterbacks in all of football that people want to see. So I think last night, like I said, granted it was Sunday Night Football, we're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers and everybody's excited about it, but leaving, not only entering the stadium did I feel like that, and just talking to other people, but excuse me, especially when we lost that game last drive, it just felt like the importance of having him there, because he puts up an average of 28 points whenever this season when he was
Mm-hmm.
playing. So granted, last night felt like a game. It felt like a very winnable game, even with our backup, and just to see them losing and not being able to do anything offensively was just mind blowing. You know. Because Kenny Pinkett, I mean, granted, the Steelers, we knew that they would be in the mix, and granted, they're going to miss the playoffs, but we just felt like they
They not
weren't
they
ready.
still
They weren't ready
And
yet,
they
and
haven't been eliminated yet. They have not been
they
oh, they
still in
haven't
eliminated
been
it.
yet.
eliminated yet.
All right, they stay.
Oh, okay.
Thanks to us, they still in it. But I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. All right,
This was
great.
after
All right.
the game, by the way. You got people climbing on the Ray Lewis statue and all that.
That was bad. It was real bad. It was bad.
Oh, that was the Steelers fans.
Yes, climbing on
Uh,
the statue and Johnny Unitas, Ray Lewis. Just in
oh,
case
they were being
more
okay.
more goofy.
They were being jackasses. I got you. I got you. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure. Last, like you said, Dre, last game of the season, Sunday Night Football, Steelers Ravens. Yeah. Okay. Granted, I'll give you that. Um, most of the time when I went to the stadium after the Buffalo Bills game, there was no type of atmosphere at all. The air was sucked out of the building a lot, even when Lamar was playing. And that's just how I feel about this season, man. That's just exactly how I feel about this season in general. I'm glad we made the playoffs. Like I said before, I'm glad we made the postseason. But we have, like I said, it comes down to mindset, and I don't think they have the mindset to get it done. I really don't. I mean, Lamar Jackson is up in the air if he returns or if he doesn't return. I have no idea. Now, thanks to this sad situation with the Buffalo Bills and Bengals game, it might give them some more time to recover because they might have to change that Sunday game to another day. But I just don't know with this team anymore. And this the organization itself, they come up with so many excuses and so many lies. It's just really frustrating. It really is. And I'm just so sick and tired of hearing these hardball press conferences with these stupid answers, and he keep making, he just makes it not better at all. He's supposed, as a coach, you're supposed to make it better. You're supposed to at least set it up to where it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. I don't feel that anymore. I just feel like it's just going to be a bunch of bullshit that's just going to keep coming my way, and I don't want to feel that the way no more. I really don't. So it is what it is with this team. Hopefully they do something, and when the playoff starts. But um, like yesterday and a lot of these other games, it's been extremely frustrating.
Trey, you're muted.
Dre, we can't hear you.
Trey, you're muted. Going ham too.
And I think
Oh boy,
also, Raj, which also was goofy, was Friday when he was asked about Lamar. Oh, I only can coach the players that are here.
that's not good
Okay,
either. That's
can y'all
not
hear
good.
me now?
Loud and clear, bro.
Okay. Um, I think that yesterday, I mean not yesterday, but I think overall, nah. I think the season has kind of felt like that, what Roger's saying. And I think it started, honestly, with the Miami game. I don't think it's just the Denver game. I think it started with that Miami game to see that offensively, Lamar has done his job. He doesn't have help. It's the same Ravens story we've been saying all year long and prior to the season. And then it just a lot of things just got confirmed and exposed this season. Like you said, I mean, we get tired of Harbaugh going up there with the same old, same old. Honestly, he should have pulled the plug on Greg Roman years ago, like he did with Cam Cameron. Some things, if they're just not working, then just pull it. I know Lamar Jackson won an MVP under Greg Roman, but granted, this it has not worked. And if you saw the past couple seasons, it has not worked, and you know that you're about to come up on paying this man. Get him a new offensive coordinator and some help, so that way you can ensure that, hey, we know what we need. We know what we have at the quarterback position, and let's go ahead and be all in. This team, just like you said, Ross, they just haven't felt all in. They feel like they're okay with the status quo instead of getting him a championship. Lamar wants to win a championship, and it feels like he's more hungry for it sometimes than the organization itself.
Devontae, you want to hop in real quick before we get to the Commanders?
Yeah. I think the Ravens are finding it difficult to get with the times and evolve and grow. Now, granted, they never had a quarterback to this caliber before, so when you're not used to something, you typically fumble. No pun intended. You fumble the first time around, but the Ravens know how it feels to not have a quarterback. The Commanders know how it feels to not have a quarterback. Not having a quarterback sucks. Because when you don't have one, you're always looking for one. And that's pretty much half the league at all times. Generally, half the league is looking for a quarterback. And when you have one, you can legit compete. And if you don't have one, you're going to continuously look for one in the draft. Or, go the Colts route and keep getting veterans that don't take you anywhere. It's one, but as you can see, that doesn't work. Nobody gets veteran after veteran and it works. That just doesn't happen. You need to draft one. That's typically the only way to go. But you drafted one. You don't have to draft another one because you got your guy. You got your guy in the house. You got your guy in the building. So I mean, that's the worst. The worst thing you do, and I feel like the Ravens are kind of taking Lamar Jackson for granted because if he walks out of that building to never return, the Ravens are not going to look good for the next few years until they find another quarterback. And Lamar Jackson is going to go on and continue to prosper in this league. That's what the Baltimore Ravens are looking at right now, and they're taking a page out of the Cowboys book, and they should not. The Ravens shouldn't take anything out the Cowboys book. Nothing. Take nothing out of the Dallas Cowboys. Baltimore Ravens shouldn't take anything away from out of the Dallas Cowboys playbook. Never. How they handled the Dak Prescott situation was terrible. Paying Ezekiel Elliott early and leaving Dak Prescott out to dry, terrible decision. Now with the Commanders, that was a different, a similar but different situation. You didn't pay him, kept franchise tagging him, making him more and more expensive, and then him eventually leaving and getting a guaranteed contract. It's not a good way to go. If that's legit your guy, pay him. Because what they say, the grass ain't green on the other side, yo. Whatever y'all gotta figure it out, yo. Because this not having a quarterback life is trash. Not being able to compete, not playing meaningful games in the end of December and January is trash. And granted, the Ravens still find a way to compete. I'm now speaking about my Commanders. Really not playing on meaningful games in December. You know what I'm saying? The Ravens do find a way to still compete even with the quarterback issues, but you got to get with the times. You got to open that checkbook up. You a billionaire like all the other owners. You got the same salary cap like all the other owners. Break Lamar Jackson off because, hey, guess what? It's going to get more expensive the more you wait. Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts are coming. And they are not going to. So Cincinnati Bengals are not going to blink twice. The LA Chargers are not going to blink twice with paying these guys and pay them early.
The Philadelphia Eagles, they pay their guy.
Oh yeah. With the MVP caliber season that Jalen Hurts had, they're not going to blink again.
Plus, he's a second-round pick, so he doesn't have that fifth-year option.
Also, yeah, they definitely don't have that as a security blanket.
Yeah.
So I'm fearful. I'm fearful that the Ravens are going to franchise Lamar and make this whole situation worse.
And what did Engraven say? He said the minute they do that, say bye to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they can franchise him twice though. I think they can only franchise Lamar once, I believe.
I mean, but it's going to be the same the same situation like this year. His friend. He's just getting another 1-year deal.
Yeah,
like you just add like it's the same problems. It's going to be the exact same problems. And
you said lock him up.
As soon as you get the opportunity to, and they have let many opportunities go by without
lock him in a room until y'all figure out a deal.
Yep. Bring all Baltimore's best food. Bring all the cheesesteaks and the crabs and the lobsters, and y'all sit in there.
You get on your hands and knees and you pray is what you do, and then you give him what the hell he wants and stop playing around. Unless you want to be,
you bring Odell to that meeting and have him.
Unless you want to be the Jets or the Lions or whoever else been in NFL purgatory for the last 15 to 20 years.
Yeah,
Commanders. Like you said, you come in there with Odell. You come in there with say, look, we got an offer to try to get DK from Seattle. You do what you need to do right now, so that way you can secure that. Hey, we got some people right here. We got some soldiers ready to go to battle for you.
No, I got one better for you. Since Kyle, your boy from the Cardinals is going to be gone for the whole year next year. You go out there and you go get whatchamacallit. You finally get him. You give us a second-round pick and you go get Deontay Hopkins. You go get Hopkins from
D-Hop? That would be lit.
Yes, you go get D-Hop. You bring him because they're not going anywhere next year.
They're not doing that. They had a chance to get him before and they didn't.
Man, we've had a chance to get people, man. We could have got Stephon Diggs. We could have got like you said, D-Hop. They've had chances to get some people.
They want to be cheap. They want to be cheap. Go ahead,
but the Ravens problem. There you go, Byron. Listen, you gotta be willing to drop. You gotta be willing to drop that thing off, man.
Go get Marvin Harrison Jr. Can we buy him from Ohio State?
But
now?
That's the thing, though. They're not cheap. They put all the money on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Use that money on the offense.
You know who they're looking like right now with putting all that money on defense? The Chicago Bears. That's who the Ravens are looking like right now.
Yikes.
Well, we ain't gonna go that far. They only won 3 games this year. So we
no, but I'm saying that's a perfect example. And if granted, I think the Chicago Bears have a quarterback, but right now you just see what happens. That's an example of a team when you put all your eggs onto the defensive side and none on the offensive side. That's when it starts looking like that. And Lamar Jackson and JT can only bail you out for so many times.
Let's get to Cavante's Commanders. Lose 24-10 to the Browns. I guess Deshaun Watson woke up. Postseason chances are done. Ron Rivera stumbling over his words. Carson Wentz starting, but I don't know why. It's just, is it time to fire Ron Rivera? I guess since y'all done.
Yeah. I think it's time. It's time. Like if we'd have somehow made the playoffs and we had opportunities to, his job would have a little bit more security. But nah, man, because you not. It looks like you checked out. You know what I'm saying? It's looking like you're stumbling over yourself and over your words, and you're not in tune with what's going on. The reporter reported to Rivera that y'all since y'all been eliminated. What? Why is this news to you? So I think folks, it's time. I think the Ron Rivera era is over, and Carson Wentz needs to not come back. And we need this team. Like we got a lot that still needs to happen. A lot that's still going on. and yeah, it's bad. And out to this Browns game, I don't know what the hell. With like, as soon as Carson Wentz going to start, it's like we already know. We already know how this going to end. Like, I don't understand going back to Carson Wentz. I don't understand it. Like, I get Heineke has clear limitations, and he wasn't playing up to par. Granted, it was against the 49ers. Like, I think that was a hell of a game to pick. Like, hey, if you struggle in this game, you're going to get benched. That the 49ers was not a good game to call that on. But going back to Carson Wentz wasn't the right decision either. If anything, you throw the rookie out there. Throw Sam Howell out there for the last two games. Not in the 49ers game, but the last two games. Throw Sam Howell out there. See what's up. See what we got. Because obviously it's quite clear that Carson Wentz nor Heineke are in our long-term future. And that's very, very clear to see. And hopefully Ron Rivera is not in our future either. Or Daniel Snyder. And everybody needs to go. I saw a post from our one of our good friends who worked at one of our studios that we had at WBGR, Daryl. He said, fire everybody. And I was like, yeah, yeah, fire everybody. Even though I know you like literally you can't, because the person that could do that is tied up right now. But yeah, everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to go. But I think we need to sell the team first, and then then let the chips continue to fall where they may. Yeah, and the Browns, yeah, what a game to get together. Ain't nothing like a Commanders game to get your life together, right? Even though they already been eliminated from the playoffs. Good old Commanders game. Now they look decent now. Couldn't stop the run. Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Absolutely, Mark. Absolutely. Clean. Like I'm
Mark,
talking about.
y'all need to do the same thing, Mark. Y'all need to do the same thing.
Top to bottom. I mean, we can start in the attic and work our way down to the basement. Like, that's how I'm trying to spring clean, fall clean, summer clean, and winter clean. Like, this is going on too much. And right along with getting a new stadium. I was actually riding through DC over the weekend, and I was just like, damn, that's supposed to be where, that's where the former Washington team, I guess second former Washington team, used to play football. And I don't know what's going on. And granted, I don't know how politics work and the money work and all that, but it'll be great. Yes, it is all about money. It would be great to have the team back in DC, but now they're doing dumb stuff like, getting a pig as a mascot or anything like that. Like, why? Why would you? It's just continuous goofiness, and that's just a little teaser, because I didn't get around to doing the goofies of the year, but that's going to be in there. Newsflash, it's going to be the Commanders #1. Newsflash. Yeah, it just does not get better, and then they got the. And granted, I get the concept, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But yes, I want a total clearing of the house. We can move some furniture out and get some new furniture or whatever. But what we have now is no longer working, and I think we need to move on.
And like Raj and I have mentioned during the Ravens post games, the Browns are coming to next year. Ravens fans.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson is slowly getting back to the elite level quarterback he was, but still before the goofiness. So we'll keep an eye on that. But
this is not a toss-up division anymore. It's not the Ravens or Steelers anymore. Anybody can win it. And honestly, the people who are leading the division right now are the Bengals, and then it's the Ravens. But like you said, the Browns and the Steelers are right in the mix next year, and they're only going to get better right now, especially since every team right now seems to have their quarterback.
Let's get to college football. Georgia, TCU for the national championship coming up this Monday. Kavant, I know it was a tough weekend for you. The Ohio State, we almost had it. I did pick them. They probably should have won. CJ Stroud is making a late push for that #1 pick between him and Bryce Young. Bryce Young played amazing against Kansas State as well. And
yes, he did. Yep.
Him and Will Anderson might go 1-2. We'll see. But as the ball dropped, the kick missed. It was like 12 o'clock. It was crazy. And Michigan just got rolled over. Their defense didn't even get off the bus. J.J. McCarthy kind of became who we thought he was. Just your thoughts, Cravante, on the Ohio State. Marvin Harrison Jr., please be a Raven in 2 years. Please. Marvin Harrison Jr., please. I will give you my paycheck for him. Yes,
Can he
please.
come right now? Can he come?
Yes.
Can he
like,
come?
One more year.
forget your eligibility. Forget your eligibility. Come
You
on.
got one more year, right? You got one more year, I think, of eligibility.
Who's that?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, he got one more. He got one more.
Look, he's 6'4", Raj. Remember Marvin Harrison was only like 5'11", 6'4", 220, probably runs like a 4.3, 4.4. I'm telling you, this man.
He's bad. He's a bad dude.
And Christian Johnston looked good. The TCU kid, Raj, coming out this year, 6'4", eating up Michigan defense, NFL caliber defense, and he's going against Georgia this week, another NFL caliber defense. So if he does it again, we shall see. Yes, Raj. Hold on. Let me, go back to the camera. People want to.
I can't.
Well, hey, look, we'll take him right now because Bateman looking like Perriman out there, man. It's not looking good right now with all them injuries. So.
Go ahead, Cravante. Your thoughts, though. What are you looking forward to?
So a lot went on. This is New Year's Day and New Year's evening. I was out and about early during the day, and I was not aware of the TCU Michigan game. Like I kept getting updates, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is TCU in this game? Because when we were talking, it was like, yo, this is probably gonna be a blowout. My heavens, was that not the case? Like TCU was running Wildcat. No, they're not the Wildcats. They're the corned. What was TCU's name? Horned Frogs. Horned Frogs.
Looked like they was running that Florida Gator Tebow offense, Cravante, Dre.
And they was running it down Michigan's throat. Michigan could not do nothing to stop it. And actually, it's funny. I actually put a bet in at halftime when Michigan was down for Michigan to win the game because it was actually plus money. But Michigan couldn't block nobody. I mean, couldn't stop nobody. And TCU was running wild. It was very, very unforeseen. Michigan, that was your opportunity because and now I'm hearing that Jim Harbaugh is probably going to take the next NFL coaching job that comes his way. I see the Broncos and the Cardinals, and I want to say the Panthers are like on the radar. But listen, it ain't gonna be nothing favorable.
Maybe.
Hey, real quick, I know we got a future topic about black coaches in the NFL. Steve Wilkes deserves to be the coach of the Panthers. They have
I agree.
We'll talk about that maybe.
Absolutely agree.
But he deserved that job. I know Arizona didn't work out. They kind of forced him out. He deserves that job in Carolina because Brady was on the ropes until he woke up.
For sure. So yeah, there's that. So Michigan, TCU was crazy in itself. But later in the evening, Ohio State is playing amazing against the Bulldogs. And I'm like, oh snap. We got an opportunity because I was like, if we get back to Georgia, man, give us the chip, baby, because we're going to roll over TCU. God damn it. And God damn it. Just like anything. And just like everything else. It's not how it seems. Raj, it's not how it seems. It's not how it looks. Nothing. Okay? They was up 2 scores. And I've been saying this all over football and professional and college. Folks been up 2 scores and losing. I don't know what is going on. But Ohio State was up for the vast majority of the game until the end. And then at the very end, and me and Dre have a goofy story with how we missed both. we missed the game. We missed the end of the game, and we missed the ball drop. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. But we saw that. We heard that the kicker missed the field goal, and we also missed the ball drop, but whatever. But yes, he missed the field goal. I was in distraught because I'm like, that was it. Like that, you kicked that field goal, you beat Georgia, and you got a great chance to win the championship. What happened offensively is exactly what I expected. CJ Stroud made a great push to become make it a little bit more difficult for the Houston Texans to pick either him or Bryce Young, because he played outstanding, and we all what Georgia's defense brings to the table. But God damn it, and it's been a question mark all year. Ohio State's defense. Ohio State's defense has not played up to par all year. They've been giving up quite a bit of points, even in their victories, quite a bit of points, and they haven't looked how they usually look. But even Stinson for Georgia, he even threw his name in the hat. I mean, he's probably gonna be a lower round draft pick, but he made some throws, man. He absolutely made some throws, and he's a huge reason why Georgia was able to come back and win that game. But yeah, very, very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. Ohio State had their game won, and they let it go. So, I mean, I wasn't sure about that game, pretty much up in the air, but they had a chance to win, and they let it go. Now, TCU, Michigan, I was just wrong. My heavens, I was just wrong. I didn't think TCU had a shot, and not only did they have a shot, they won. So that was yeah, that was that. But it'll drive you to drink. Let me say that.
Dre, Raj, y'all go ahead.
I'll go. I actually watched both of these games. Believe it or not, I actually watched the TCU and Michigan game. I thought Michigan was going to pull it out. I thought this was the time Jim Harbaugh was going to finally get over the hump and get into that national championship game and find a way to victory. Boy, was I wrong. TCU came out there and they was just in that first half they was laying a smack down on Michigan, man, and I was just like, wow. Now TCU is not a school I've really heard of like that, because usually I'm used to hearing Alabama, Clemson, maybe Georgia, maybe the Ohio State, maybe teams like that. But TCU just came out of nowhere, man, and they laid the woodshed on them boys, man. And they continued to lay the woodshed on them in the second half as well. And the funny thing was, I wasn't even watching the original ESPN broadcast. I was watching Pat McAfee's version of the game.
The Pat McAfee show, man.
Yes, the Pat McAfee show version on ESPN too. And his boys was on there rooting for Michigan, praying that Michigan get the victory, man. It was evident. They was like, please, Michigan, come on, get this. Come on, y'all can come back. Y'all only down 2 scores. Y'all can come back. And they never came back. They never got the job done, man. And this is another black eye for Jim Harbaugh. Just reminds me of 10 years ago when he lost the Super Bowl, honestly. And last year when he lost in the game. I forgot who he played last year.
They lost to who did they lose to last year?
All I know is they made it into the Final Four and they lost. They didn't make it to the national championship game. But either way, yeah, man, it's just another black guy for him, man. I'm not sure where he goes at from here. Maybe he gets an NFL job, like you said earlier. Maybe he doesn't. I have no idea. But shout out to TCU, man, coming out of nowhere and making it to the national championship game. That gives me hope for Maryland. Maybe they can find a way to do that one day. But who knows? Now the next game, Georgia and the Ohio State. Hell of a game, man. Hell of a game. Now, unlike Cravante, I actually did see him miss that field goal and miss the ball drop at the same time. That was hilarious to me. I was like, this is crazy. It's 12 o'clock. and the kick is not good. I was like, wow. I was like, this is crazy. They did all that to come back, and they just couldn't get the job done, man. They had a 2-score lead, like you said. It would, Georgia, the Ohio State was they was getting it on, man. They was doing that thing, and then they just found a way to lose at the end. As a Ravens fan, I didn't see that a lot this year, so it made no never mind to me. But yeah, man. It was a couple of good games. Couple good games on that night, and it was pretty cool. And it was also good to see Alabama, take care of that business as well. Although they're not in this situation or this picture, but they still found a way, to show up and show out.
Roll
Even
Tide.
that's right. Even though they're not even involved in these festivities, but good games.
Trey?
Don't get me started, man. TCU. You know what? It was like watching Rocky 3 out there, man. Like, he came in so confident, Michigan, and then they just got bulldozed by TCU, and they just didn't look back. I mean, I was like, how? Like, that's one of them games where like you don't even bother to turn the TV on until late because you just think that they gonna win, and then bam, they got, like I said, they got punched in the mouth, and they just weren't able to recover. So TCU took care of their business, but this was the opportunity for Michigan to really make some noise and get that championship because there's no Alabama in it, and Georgia, as you saw from the Ohio State and Georgia game, that they're a team that can get got, but hats off to TCU. I mean, I've heard of TCU before, but them to get in the dance and then the underdog. I mean, I'm pretty sure the payday for them is out of this world because majority of people probably picked Michigan to win that game, and then the Ohio State game. I mean, you guys said it, and I said I was tempted to say it, but what a game! I mean, the Ohio State should have pulled it off, but I mean, like that Super Bowl with the Bills and the Giants, where he just missed wide left. I was like, how? Um, me and Cavante, we were out, and where we was at, the Xfinity kept going in and out, so that's why we missed the ball drop and we missed the field goal lead. It was like we saw him line up. The next thing you know, we was like, "Well, what happened?" Everybody's like all in uproar.
I was at the Horseshoe while everybody was partying.
So,
I was looking at to miss the kick.
well,
And that pizza.
we were at a kickback, so that's what
okay.
But I just legit could not believe that he missed that field goal. It was shocking. It'll be good to see Georgia and TCU, but I mean, right now, if you ask me to pick somebody, I'm going to say Georgia. Right now, I don't think that. I think that their toughest challenges would have been either Michigan or the Ohio State. I don't know if TCU will be in the dance, but then again, TCU is right in the dance with Michigan. So we'll see what happens on Monday. Well, next Monday rather, with this national championship game. But it's just shocking what happened.
So Tuesday,
it was Georgia
Georgia. So looking forward, I said Tuesday, not Tuesday, but for moving forward.
Now he did a Billy Cundiff.
Ooh, Cundiff. Ooh, that was bad days.
That's what he just said.
Looking forward for the expansion of the college football playoffs, TCU winning is huge for that aspect of it.
And of course, Raj, you remember TCU, our good friend, former AFC North quarterback of the Bengals, Richie Cunningham was a TCU Horned Frog.
Oh, that bastard. Oh, I'm sorry. I said it out loud. My bad. Oh, yes, he was a TCU graduate. Yeah, he gave us a lot of problems in the NFL. I'll never forget 2017 what he did to us. Thanks for bringing that up, Byron. Thanks a lot.
At this rate, you might as well just continue to drink the pain away or eat the pain away, as we like to say. But let us know your thoughts on the national championship game. We'll talk about it next week, as we will be live, as the game probably is in the waning stages. We got to hand out some good and bad game ball, not so game ball, standout, and duds of the week. Big Raj, I'm going to start with you, brother. Who gets your game ball, not so game ball from week 17?
My game ball. Um, now I said I was gonna get his brother a game ball again, but after that performance that he put on in that wonderful game to clinch a playoff spot, I has to go to my boy Thomas Brady, man. 400 and something yards, I think 476 or 80 something yards, and about 3 touchdown passes, man, to clinch a playoff spot. To clinch the division. He played his ass off, man. He did his thing out there. Tom Brady deserves the game ball. He was awesome. Um, it could be a final time that he does it. Uh, well, maybe he does it in the playoffs, but I don't know. But I don't see him putting up no numbers like that in the playoffs. But we shall see. But as far as the final time in the regular season, that was a beautiful way to go out. If that's how you're going to go out in the regular season, and man, it's just a testament to his career and his skill and his attributes, man. He was awesome, man. Um, especially for a 45-year-old. I mean, my God. But yeah, man. Tom Brady gets my game ball, man. Shout out to the Buccaneers. They'll be in the playoffs. They won a division, and they deserve it. My Nassau game ball has to go to a team that's in New York, and I'm not talking about the Giants, but I'm talking about these Jets, man. Mike White or White Mike, whatever the hell you want to call him, he was supposed to be a savior, from what I heard. They was waiting for him to come back. I was listening to a lot of Jets podcasts, people, praising him, saying, "Thank God we can't wait till this man comes back because Zach Wilson is terrible, Joe Flacco is terrible, and what does Mike White do when he steps on the field in Seattle?
Trash.
Completely lays an egg.
Trash.
Completely did absolutely nothing. Turned the ball over twice. They only scored 6 points, and on top of that, you might as well say it was a blowout." But yeah, man, the New York Jets, they have lost the last 5 games in a row. They
One and
went one
six.
and six after the bye week, and they're just a complete. They did exactly what we did last year, almost. They're just a complete disgrace, man. And this is their 12th losing season in a row.
Has anybody checked on Q? I haven't heard him calling to the radio station lately.
No, he won't be. I doubt if he calls into the radio station anytime soon. Yeah, he does still make a post on Facebook though, so he isn't completely hiding. But he knows what time it is, man. This is what they do every year. This is what they're known for. Robert Sala is on the hot seat. He might get fired this offseason. Who knows? But yeah, man. White Mike White, White, or whatever the hell you want to call him.
Mike.
Didn't get the job done, man. So he gets my not so game ball for not showing up when they really needed him to. And that's that.
Wow, Mark, I didn't know that. As Dre gets ready to go, Tom Brady 10 or so
You
touchdowns.
talking about Brady? Ain't that crazy? He only been there 3 years.
That could be an interesting first round matchup because you're going to have Brady and the Bucks against potentially the Cowboys or the Eagles, depending on how the NFC East plays out. So the NFC East losing would be the highest seed. So,
and if the Cowboys lose again to the Bucks, woo.
Lost in week 1. We shall see. Go ahead, Dre.
All right. I'm gonna start low and high. My not so game ball has to go to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Damn.
You have a chance to secure that number 1 seed, and I know Jalen Hurts is out, but again, it shows you the value of having your guy in, because my gosh, Gardner Minshew looked good last week in a loss, but damn it, did he not look good in this loss this week? I mean, it costing the Eagles this game, and they just not looking like the same team right now without Jalen Hurts. So hopefully Jalen Hurts can come back soon, or at least for the playoffs. But Philly, they do not want to lose that number 1 seed, man. That is a crazy. First of all, Philadelphia is just a crazy place in of itself. But then that stadium, how that crowd is about to be, yeah, they need to hold on to that number 1 seed. They got to handle business next week. or else it's not going to look good for them in the playoffs. So that's my not so game ball, and my game ball has to go to Mr. Discount Double Check himself. I'm gonna follow Raj. He said Tom Brady. I'm gonna follow up with Aaron Rodgers. Um, and granted, the Minnesota Vikings were. I was tempted to say that the Vikings were going to get my not so game ball because you talk about an ass whooping. I mean, that was a thorough whooping.
Hey, that's the second time the Vikings got the ass whooped this year.
And that's a damn shame.
And it was a
I mean,
40 pointer, another 40 burger they gave up.
and
Justin
what except
Jefferson, one catch for 15 yards.
They locked him up, man. Giant
and you
Alexander,
and you
that's handcuffs right there, man.
and you could see that he was so frustrated, Justin Jefferson, in that game, because he just knows that this team could be a lot better. And they were the number 2 seed, and now they're like I don't know where they are anymore. But granted, they're just not the same team that we thought they were going to be. And granted, I mean, I kind of felt like that about the Vikings anyway. But I mean, my gosh, to get your behind whoop like that from your division rival, and now we about to see both Aaron Rodgers and Thomas get into the dance.
Possibly.
That's an interesting um, Sunday night football game that's about to happen. I think that I'm actually excited about that game. The Lions and the Packers. I think that's an actual good game. But I'm actually rooting for. And I don't know who to really pick in that game because you kind of want the kneecap biting Lions who haven't been nowhere in like 20 years, but then you want Aaron Rodgers to get in the dance and see what him and Tom Brady were going to be able to do. So we shall see. But those are my game ball, not so game ball. Now I'll toss it over to the captain of the Goofy Ship, my good brother. Us not seeing the game, that should be on your Goofy list, by the way.
Word. No.
Divulge this story. I mean, do you want to do that?
No, go ahead, good brother. Since it's your turn.
So, should that be? Should I tell it now, or should I wait for Goofies? I don't know. I guess
Goofies. You can tell with Goofies. We'll do game ball, not so game ball.
Okay. Not so game ball. I mean, at this point, it's Ron Rivera. It's Ron Rivera and the Commanders. Just the absolute skid that's been going on since the whole debacle with the tie with the Giants. We have not been on track, and we slid our way right out the playoffs. And Ron Rivera had no idea. Everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to go, and sooner rather than later. Now I have quite a few game balls I want to give out, but I'm gonna keep it to one. Okay, so honorable mention, Brian Daboll, hell of a coaching job this year, getting his team to the playoffs with Danny Dimes and him looking like a serviceable quarterback is huge. But I'm gonna give it. My game ball is gonna go to a teammate of Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., Mike Evans. Mike Evans has been Mr. 1K his entire career. First player in NFL history to begin his career with 9 consecutive seasons with 1,000+ yards receiving. That is an absolute all-time accomplishment, and very, very. It just proves how underrated and really underappreciated he's been. I guess I can say pre-Tom Brady, because Tom Brady was like, "Oh no, I'm using this brother." How consistent he was, no matter what quarterback he has, and he never really had great complementary receivers, so it's always been him, even in the Jameis Winston era and all that. He would still find a way to be productive and do his best to help his team win, because we know how bad the Buccaneers were prior to Tom Brady. And of course, when you get the GOAT, it's only right that it continues, right? So big up to Mike Evans with that accomplishment. And he doesn't look like he has not looked like he lost a step.
Real quick to the Giants point, they're going to have to pay Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley this offseason. They didn't pick up Daniel Jones's 5th-year option, and Saquon Barkley is an unrestricted free agent this coming year as well. So we'll see what the Giants do. We know they have deep pockets in New York, but we'll keep an eye on that. But the Giants are in the playoffs, locked into the 6th seed, and they could be a tough out. We shall see. They got a pretty good defense. They can run the ball. Let us know your game ball, not so game ball, in the comments down below. And hit the like button if you haven't already. Vote on the poll. Appreciate all the love. Let's do it. It's our favorite time of the week, starting off 2023 the best way we know how, the only way we know how, that is here on the Flex Zone podcast with Cravante's Goofies of the week. Cravante, if you want to let the people know what Goofies are if they're new to the show and what you
Of
got coming
course,
up this
of
week
course.
and your wonderful story on New Year's Eve.
Of course, of course. Welcome, good people, to Goofies of the Week. Happy New Year for those of y'all that just chiming in or not aware of what's going on right now. This is Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me tell the good people what I thought of sports this past week. Now, he has Goofies of the Year. That is coming. All right, guys, that is coming. I promise. We're going to get together this week and we're going to do what we got to do. But for now, my first Goofy of the Week this year will... Well, I'll get into it. Let me just finish my intros. So I have two levels of goofiness that we deal with on a how about like week by week basis, on a daily basis.
Something wrong here.
And Goofy has made it. And Goofy has made an appearance. This is great. Grant, I'm glad Goofy made it to the new year, man, because it's been a lot going on. So I'm glad he made it.
Atlanta didn't kill him yet.
Yeah, Atlanta. Shout out to you, yo. For those that are familiar with a Goofy movie and the show Atlanta, please watch the ending of, I want to say, was that season 4 of Atlanta?
Yes, season 4.
Please check out that episode. I want to say this episode 8. Yeah, great episode, and I absolutely loved it. But I have 2 levels of Goofy that I deal with. We have Green right here. There was low level Goofies, which is usually funny. It's some laughter, some snickering, and we kind of leave it at that. In the hopes that it does not get to the absolute Goofy, the highest level Goofy of goofiness being the red. Falcons actually won last week, so I'm gonna give it to the Cardinals. The Cardinals send red because it's over the top Goofy. We need to congregate, we need to meet, and we need to talk about what's happening, what's going on, and what's going on needs absolutely stop. And yeah, that's how we choose to measure it here at the Flex Zone. So I'm gonna start with the lower Goofy. So I'm gonna get into the story, a little bit of story time with me and Dre. It's always me and Dre. Like, I don't know what it be, but me and Dre were out and about on New Year's Eve. A good friend of ours. We met up at her house, and we had some festivities. You know how it goes. And again, it's a nice controlled environment because we be's older folks, and we don't like being out and about in the world with all the goofiness going on, and the younger folk been out there acting crazy. We like being in a nice controlled environment where we know everybody is intimate and we can have a good time and we feel safe. That's important. But what was goofy was that there was a dispute as the evening went on. Now, granted, I was a little late. I was a little late to the party, waiting on a couple folks. We're not gonna say no names. I was a little late to the party, but we got there in enough time to be festive before the ball dropped. But when we came, we was there for a minute having a good time. So the Ohio State and Georgia game was on. It was getting a little intense, so back and forth. So me, Dre, and Shane are in, and Marcus, Big Marcus, was in the living room watching the game, and the ladies were in the what's that? I guess they call it the dining room.
Yes.
Well, where the food and the games and all that good stuff were. And they're congregating, we're congregating, it's all good. Everything's well. Like, y'all do y'all thing, we doing our thing. So game's getting intense. But as we look at the clock, Ohio State and Georgia is less than a minute left. Like it's seconds left. But then it's like it's 11:56. So it's a lot going on. So it's like, oh snap, what are we gonna do? Well, not that what we're gonna do. We was trying to watch the game. They were not. as you can imagine how the back and forth was. Pretty ugly. Dre and his Dre and Brittany got into it in front of the TV. Like he said, no, the game's on. She's like, it's 11:57. Dre's like, but no, the game is on. It's 11:58. So they were going back and forth, and we're missing everything. Like we're missing everything at this point. I'm like, no, wait till let's watch the Ohio State game and the Georgia game until 11:59, and then we'll switch and watch the ball drop. Nobody really heard me, so because there was a lot of commotion going on. So what ended up happening was that the Georgia game and Ohio State game, they ended up switching it. I think it was like 11 seconds left, like pretty much right before the kick. So it was less than 10 seconds left, basically the last play of the game. Switched over to watch the ball drop in New York at 11:59, and we're watching the countdown, and it is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and it just kept buffering, I'm like, oh my gosh, it stopped on 5. It stopped on 5. So in the midst of us going back and forth about what we're going to watch at 12 o'clock, we end up missing both. And I heard from Shane, because Shane had the game going on his phone, and I hear Shane say he missed the field goal, and then we heard people from the outside like, Happy New Year! What the hell is going on? I don't like how this is starting out. I don't like none of it. Very, 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 very goofy on all accounts. All right, we missed everything.
You can't make this stuff up.
You cannot make this stuff up, and I'm sitting like, oh my gosh, we missed everything. And then on top of that, it would have been better if Ohio State would have made the kick. It would have been so much better. Paul, baby, what's up? Paul was there. Paul was there. Yo, Paul, we missed everything, baby. We missed everything. And Paul honestly didn't care one way or another. He probably wanted to watch the ball drop a little bit more, but he didn't care. He really didn't care. He was getting his 7 laughs in like everybody else was. So yeah, that's what happened. So let's just say it drove us to drink. Let's just say that. So that was our low level funny to start to end 2022 and begin.
No, it was a high level goofy. Miss both.
So yeah, that was we missed 2 crucial events to start the 2023 year, and I hope that is not a sign of things to come. Let's just say that. So Paul, please comment whatever you got to say, brother. So that was our low level Happy New Year, welcome to 2023 goofy. Going into my next goofy is going to be a high level goofy. You guys know I have one every week. And I don't know if he deleted the tweet. Is it possible you can pull up the tweet, because I have it, but because I definitely screenshotted it.
That's why I'm God's favorite host, Cavante.
You're right. You're right. Wow, there it is. God damn it, there it is, good people.
After you finish with it, he did clarify his tweet, by the way. So I'm gonna let you continue.
Did he delete it?
No, he didn't delete it, but he clarified what he said on that tweet. Mm-hmm. So I will go quick, Avante.
I was there for Brittany versus. Okay. So as you guys can see on the screen, Skip Bayless quote, and I quote: No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seem so irrelevant. So this is a very, very, very goofy tweet from somebody from Skip, from a very prominent analyst of sports in general, Skip Bayless. And we've honestly seen people get fired for less. And Skip Bayless quote tweet is very, very insensitive to what's going on. And we could tell. So it was at 6:30, so that's his time. So that was about 9:30. So yeah, he had some time. He had a little bit of time to think on this, and this is still what he came up with. Granted, Raj said that he clarified his tweets, but it's pretty clear that you didn't care or give 2 cents about what was going on with the brother who had collapsed, and Mr. Hamlin. And like I said, people get fired for less, and also get fired for less, and also just being insensitive for stuff they did a long time ago. This is insensitive and very current, very, 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 very current. And I'm sure we'll get some goofy apology from him tomorrow, because we know that ESPN is not going to. I'm sorry, not ESPN. Excuse me. Fox is not going to probably do any disciplinary actions. But we kind of already knew this from Skip Bayless, that he ain't all right. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like we're not totally surprised, because he can be very narrow-minded with certain things. But just this was the timing of it, and all of what was going on was very, very sensitive, and like, why go there? Like, this is one of those don't send messages. I don't know who his PR team is, who's on his PR team, who is his PR team, or if he even has one. But if I was on his PR team or the head of his PR team, I'd be cussing him out right now. Cause like, bro, what are you doing? This brother might not make it. And you talking about continuing a game, a football game, which makes it seem like you're about football over people. And it's life over football always. It's people over football always, man. Like I was explaining before, we only have a short amount of time to be a child, and we only have a short amount of time to be in whatever profession we choose to go into. And then we have the rest of our lives. And football, the average years in that profession is what, 4 years? You know what I'm saying? So you got childhood, you got college, you got pros, and then you got the rest of your life. Nothing you do in any of those facets of life should negatively affect the rest of your life. This brother was 24 years old, playing the game that he loves. And that traumatic experience is in the minds of everybody. His teammates, the Bengals, the fans, coaching staff, viewers. There was no way that we could have continued playing this game. The ambulance came on the field. They were doing CPR. I have never seen CPR being administered on a football field. And mind you, I played football for a couple years. Never. So, for Skip Bayless to come out his mouth to come out his head, his mouth, and his fingers, to speak this and come up with this thought and type it is absolutely absurd. And there should absolutely be some disciplinary actions for his insensitive comments. Now, Fox, I I don't know. I don't know if they're going. I don't think they're going to do anything, but who knows? They might pull a fast one and actually do something. Maybe suspend him or something. But what I don't want to hear is him apologize on air tomorrow. Because I'm like, that's how you felt, bro. You don't really care. You don't really care about the players or any of that mess, and it is absolutely sad. Like it's terrible, absolutely terrible, and something should absolutely happen. And people have been killing him on that tweet. It had over 56 million views. Yes, I mean I don't know what else to say. Just that was very, very tasteless from somebody who, and you know what? Now I think about it, I don't think I can say I expect more from him. I just expect him to be a little bit more sensitive, because every time we talk about the Cowboys and Tom Brady, he speaks hot. He speaks with a very sensitive tune. But when we're talking about somebody's life being, somebody being in a life or death situation, he's talking about the negative effects it could be on the football schedule. It's not the same. It's not even. Forget all that mess. We need to cancel this game, and they figure it out whenever they figure it out. But this young brother's life is basically in the balance, and he needs our prayer. His family needs our prayer and well wishes and positive vibes. Not you talking about this may mess up, the ending of an NFL season. Poor taste, absolute poor taste, and I hope Shannon has a conversation with him, and I hope Fox Sports and whoever has a conversation with him. Like, yo, that was absolutely absurd, and you may need some time off.
You got the other tweet, Byron?
I can probably pull it up real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. We can continue, Cavante. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up real quick.
I'm interested to see his how we chose to clarify it. I'm about to jump on.
Give me 30 seconds.
Oh no, that's cool. That's cool.
Just trying to.
But yeah, very, very sensitive. And I tell you right now, we all know if this was a brother, he'd be fired now. He would absolutely be fired now.
I got you. 1 second.
Okay. Yep. Here it is.
Pull it up for you.
But yeah. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. And as Byron is pulling up the tweet. Okay. Yep. And here's this follow-up tweet. Maybe about an hour or so later. A little bit less than an hour. Skip Bayless, and I quote, "Nothing is more important than that young man's health. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but his health is all that matters. Again, everything else is irrelevant. I prayed for him and will continue. And will continue to." I don't feel like it was. I don't feel like, now granted, we could misunderstand and we could misinterpret some things, but that doesn't line up. That absolutely does not line up. And thanks, Paul. That does not line up. I don't think he didn't say. If I go right back to his last tweet.
Can we go to the last tweet?
Sorry, Byron, to go back and forth like this, but I don't think he said anything about him in the last tweet.
Because how?
No doubt. This late again. He said nothing about the brother. He said nothing about Mr. Hamlin. Like, how do we misunderstand that? How do we misinterpret that? You said nothing about him. You said nothing about him, his life, this being irrelevant. You talked about which seems really so it seems so irrelevant. You're talking about the game. You didn't say nothing about Hamlin. You didn't say nothing about DeMar Hamlin. Like how did we misinterpret that? How did we misunderstand? No, you shouldn't have tweeted it. So yeah, you just made it 10 times worse. Now he something needs to happen. Some type of disciplinary action.
Sometimes you just need to hit the delete button and then don't say nothing else.
Bro, because you did not help yourself
like you said,
at all.
He's going to end up apologizing tomorrow on air if they let him back on, and then it's going to get washed. And it's like, no, bro. Like what you said, that has nothing to do with the man's health. You up there talking about the game more so than his health, and then the next statement saying I was misunderstood. No, you weren't. Like you said, Cravante, you said what you said, you meant what you said, and then the fact that you didn't delete it, which speaks to privilege right then. You know what? I mean, that's what I'll say about that. But the insensitivity and talking about money and the importance of the game when this isn't your money, this isn't your league. So why are you so concerned about that over the health and safety over what over DeMar Hamlin? Like that should be of the most importance right then and there. If the team is not concerned with the game, why are you?
And trust me, it's not going to get washed. There's a lot of celebrities that came out tonight and crucified him, destroyed him. Isaiah Thomas being one of them. Des Bryant being another one. Of course, Terrell Owens being one of them.
Oh yeah, T.O. waiting. He waiting.
A lot of people is on Skip's head right now. So
I saw Darrell Revis. Revis.
Darrell Revis was another one as well. I don't know what's going to happen to him tomorrow, but I think he will get suspended. Now, will he get fired? I have no idea.
No, they ain't gonna fire him.
But something's going to happen.
They need to after that comment he said about about Shannon, but there's this right here.
It's more personal than Shannon.
I think him and the CEO of Fox Sports is real tight too. Hence why he got so much power, and he is pretty much Fox Sports with far as their TV shows. So it's kind of a put his foot in his mouth type of thing. So might be a little slap on the wrist. I doubt he gets suspended. Like you said, he'll probably get an apology tomorrow, and then that's probably it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's my
I'm trying to find some of these comments that y'all talking about that like T.O. said and whatnot. I'm curious about what T.O. said to him.
Yeah, if you find
that thing was viewed. Oh no, that was the last one. But he had 50. I saw 56 views on his on the original one. And then that was viewed 10 million, if I'm not mistaken. So that was pretty quickly. But I'll wrap this up. So those are my goofies of the week. Obviously, Skip Bayless had his very, very insensitive comments, and our goofy New Year's Eve fiasco that was going on. But y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great, and it was like Skip Bayless and us. we were all on the wrong end of it. Guys,
there you go, Dre.
Gosh, something wrong here.
Thanks, Goofy. Happy New Year to you as well.
Oh man.
You did a good job for this tweet. You really think this game holds more weight than this young man's life? Yeah, wrong. He is.
He is.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. This is a terrible way to start 2023 after a crazy 2022 to say the least. But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. We may have to clip this whole segment and put it out for those who do want to see it. But
don't worry, I'll clip it.
My man.
Shout out to Raj, man.
Uncle Raj, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
it is.
all the social media greatness this year, especially on the YouTube airways, trying different things and making us stand out. So we appreciate that as well. And we'll keep you guys posted, which should be a very, very interesting week of just sports, because what happens now with the schedule, what happens now with the Ravens game, what happens now with DeMar Hamlin in the next 24 hours. So we shall indeed see about that. Drizzy Dre, next week, episode 375, and we got the college football national championship game in, I guess, week 18 of the NFL.
Yes, sir. I'm excited, and next week we'll see what happens. We might be able to see who the regular season champ is. We'll see what happens.
And how can we start the day with a cup of Dre?
7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Good morning, Baltimore. And then, of course, every Monday here with my brothers here at the Flex Zone, 10 p.m. Monday nights.
Episode 375 next week. Hit the bell for all notifications. Big Raj, let the people know how to keep up with us on social media, what we got going on in the channel, and what's on the way. Big month coming up.
Oh, we got the Royal Rumble coming in at the
of
January. Live stream. We have, of course, AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays with the crew. We'll, I guess, preview the Ravens and Cincinnati game whenever Buffalo and Cincinnati decides to play their game. Like we said, we got to figure out what these schedules is going to be, because I'm pretty sure they'll change. Prayers up to Hamlin. Hopefully, he pulls through tonight. It's been tough, man. So. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming on the channel, so just stay tuned. Hit the notification bell for updates, and check out some other stuff that's on the channel.
Yeah, big shout out this Friday. We were live for SmackDown. Dre even stepped into the building with his half sleeve head of the table hoodie. Shout out to him. Great time as always. And I can't wait for the Rumble. Dre, I know you are a busy man, but January 28th, brother, if you got some time, we would love to have you in the building, man, for the Royal Rumble, because who knows what might happen this year.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to see Kevin Owens and Roman one more time, man.
Yeah, so big month of content coming up. Like I said, AEW, Ravens preview at some point, and post-game shows. And we got at least one more after this week, because the Ravens are in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. So Raj, D, and hopefully Dre be able to join me for that. Show executive produced by Andre Melton, senior producer, captain of the Goofy ship, Cravante. We got to get those Goofies of the year, right, Cravante?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys have have wrestling and SmackDown on Wednesdays, right?
Yeah. So basically, Tuesdays or Thursdays are usually pretty open. So just let us know.
Let's do it tomorrow, y'all.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Tomorrow should be good. Just we'll touch base throughout the day.
And Raj and Dre, if you guys are available, who come through, because we got a lot of goofiness to talk about.
No, unfortunately, I won't be available. I'll have to tell you off the air why. But
fair enough. No, I just asked because I know y'all have input, because there's a lot of goofiness, and I'm only doing 3. But okay.
Yeah, we'll break down those 3, Cravante and I, and we will talk about it. Good conversation as well. Look for that probably the end of this week, if not sooner. And look for the clips on the channel. We got things that we can clip that'll be coming out. And we might have to do a Commanders checklist after the season is over, Cravante. What does Cravante want in 2023 for his Commanders? We'll look for that as well. And hey, the Wizards are red hot. Donovan Mitchell dropped 71 tonight, and the Nets have won 12 in a row. So NBA as well.
And let's not forget our guy from Akron. You know, LeBron James putting up 47 on his birthday and putting up 43 tonight.
Yes.
38 years old, still balling like he's 18 years old.
And that record may be broken within the next 4 to 6 weeks. We'll see how the timing is going. So a video will be out for that. Much like with the Aaron Judge situation, as soon as it happens, let's just say. But Flex on Podcast, please give me sports how you want it, fellas.
We need it.
3 ones up, acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table. Appreciate all the love tonight, all the likes, all the comments, subscribers, new, old, everybody in the chat. Appreciate you. Thank you for making 2022 the best year, and 2023 will be even better. Hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let us know. Donate, Cash App, and Super Chat as well. For Dre, Cravante, and Big Raj. We'll see you next week for episode 375, but all this week for content to come. Until then, have a great night, everybody. Peace. Prayers up for DeMar Hamlin.
Yes.
Prayers.